Lewis Canfield, and today we'll be going on a tour of one of Patrick Ahearn's most recent projects on West Chop. This is an interesting project because the house is in the woods. It's an ensemble piece between the main house, the carriage house, and what's known as the outdoor living room around the pool area. So Patrick, we're inside. There's an unfinished quality here, so point out some things that are going on and that are going to happen.
Well, this is the inside of the major space in the house, which is a living room area, and it takes on the gambrel shape completely. We actually took out what would have been a floor. We've got the dormers up here that create clear story light from up above. There will be a large multi-piece band that will run around this whole space here that separates the plaster from beadboard below. So there's some architectural recall between band on outside, band on inside. We have a bay window underneath the porch that draws you out to the outdoor living room. And then we incorporated old barn beams up in the ceiling to give some sense of history and character. They're not really structural, although they look like they are.
Well, this fireplace also gives a sense of history.
This is what looks like it's a dry set old stone fireplace is actually all new. What it means is that there's actually masonry that holds all of these pieces together.
But wouldn't dry set mean there was no masonry?
Right.
And so in this case, it looks like it's dry set. So this is the real art form.
That's right. How you can get all these little pieces to look like they're just sitting on top of each other, like old stones, like the kids might have collected from the beach and just built a wall.
We travel from the living room to the backyard, where we observe the exterior design of the main house.
The best thing we have so far is the three French doors that you can see. We've got the porch, and then we step off the mahogany decking of the porch, which will lead us onto this whole outdoor living room.
Now, everybody in modern houses wants tons of glass. But this is a house that's made to look old, and old houses couldn't have all this glass. How do you make it work from a design perspective?
We used the idea of introducing a bay window, which again is a romantic notion architecturally, and we have the double hung windows on either side of the bay window, and then the French doors in the center, which also line up with the front door on the other side of the house. And then we have flanking French doors, which are 4 feet wide. That allowed us to get the casing and the head trim in a classical way. We also have a door from the master study, and we'll have the screen porch over here. So this becomes the funnel, if you will, to get everyone out to the outdoor living room. And those dormer windows are really acting as clear story light into the great room. So it's kind of a trick. From the outside it looks more cottage-like, but from the inside it creates this great volume space.
And then again, there's this continuity, there's that banding that you were talking about, which is also on the inside.
That's right, the band ties everything together. All the exterior details align with themselves. Here's that long frieze board and band that runs entirely around the house. And it gives a nice separation between the first floor and the second floor. We use the same trick, same proportions, same scale, just not sticking out quite so far, but the same molding trim, same numbers all match on the inside.
We move further into the yard to discuss the landscaping choices and design recall of the outdoor living space.
You're going to step off the porch, have it really like a green carpet of lawn, and then we've got this large pool that frames the centerpiece of the outdoor room. A stone wall in the dry set look along over here, and then there'll be a flower garden planted beyond that, and then tall arborvitaes to screen out the neighbor in the distant view.
You talked about a dry set look again on the wall. So there's a theme that I'm hearing more and more when we're talking about this house, is that how the outside elements are replicated on the inside. So the dry set wall
will match the fireplace.
Is what we saw in the fireplace.
Right, so there's a recall of different materials. We have a shingled house, we have white trim, we have a brick veneer, and the old style brick, and we have stone. So those are really the elements that we're using continuously.
What are the three pieces? The main house and then?
The main house, the pool, and then this is very special. From the streetscape, it reads as the carriage house or the barn. We break the scale down and we made it look like there was the carriage house barn, and then there was another addition that came later with the shed roof stepping down from the frieze board, stepping in from the corner board, so the old corner board was retained. So this really does look like it was added on at a later point in time. Within that space, though, is a bathroom, a changing area, and really a little wet bar area. That all works off of the pool. We've got another porch that you can sit on out here, and there's the doorway that goes upstairs to a guest suite. So this becomes the bookend. We've got the house here, we've got the garden here, and we have the pool, and it really creates this wonderful outdoor space that is in sun all day.
We walk to the front facade of the guest house, where the carriage house vernacular becomes more apparent.
This facade is really meant to emulate an old barn. And as you approach the property from the primary access point, you come upon this barn in the woods. And that was the idea, that you're unaware that there's this incredible outdoor living room beyond it, so that this barn vernacular really sets its tone very much in its location.
From this facade, what says barn?
Well, the first thing is that the doors and the little windows are off-center. So they're symmetrical about themselves, but they're not symmetrical in the facade.
So in a more formal house, these would be symmetrical.
Plus, you're also dealing with a very tall wall, and that with this solid piece over here, it really implies that there was a hayloft or a stairway off to the side. And by using the little hopper windows, minimal amount of glazing, a lot of solid elements, and then the carriage house type doors, really very much speak to a barn vernacular.
Well, it's another great project, Patrick. It's beautifully done.
Thank you.